Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carlton, recovery coach here at Capital Recovery Center. This is our men in training meeting for the day. And I have an article here. It's by 7narrowsrecoveryarizona.com. The article I have here today is Rebuilding and Restoring Your Life in Addiction and Recovery. We'll hop into it. What does rebuilding look like in your recovery? Recovery from substance abuse and addiction is a lifelong process and can come in many forms, but still many people continue to think that residential treatments and detox programs are the most important part of addiction and recovery. And while these often mark key moments of a person's recovery journey, they are only the beginning. Rebuilding a healthy life doesn't happen right away. If the situation is severe, a person may require medically assisted inpatient detox. After this, they will likely transition to full-time residential program with a range of outpatient therapies. From there, aftercare programs provide the ongoing support for long-term sobriety. The reality is that life is messy, both with and without added element of addiction recovery, but by embracing the recovery process as growth and rebuilding the journey can be one of joy and wholeness. I like how it says about the detox and the inpatient treatment. I think that's very important if you're trying to get help and trying to get clean and sober, is seeking professional help. Because from my personal experience, I tried it on my own and it never worked. Like it worked for, might have been for so many days, even a few weeks maybe, right? But I'll resort back to the drugs and alcohol. So I think it's very important. Like the first step is seeking help, going to a detox, then a residential treatment, doing the proper steps that's needed. And that's what was told to me. So I went to detox, I went to residential, and most important is the aftercare also. So it's probably going to talk a little bit about the aftercare and stuff like that in this article. So let's go to the next part of it. Rebuilding a new perspective on life. For many people in recovery, what's going on, brother? In recovery, the first aspect of rebuilding is their perspective on life. Each person is different and their experiences in addiction recovery is unique. There are a number of aftercare programs that provide ongoing support as you re-enter daily life. These may include individual counseling, family therapy, group meetings, but above all these or else, it's important to place yourself in an atmosphere that will support your sobriety and recovery. Some of these environments may be unexpected. For example, one recent study has shown the positive effect that music can have on addiction patterns. The way that music fosters psychological integration and social cohesion, cohesion, can help those who struggle with addiction rebuild social connection to themselves and others. If you continue to be open to perspective on life, you may find new ways and methods to continue healing. So what's going on, Giovanni? So the article I have here is Rebuilding and Restoring Your Life in Addiction and Recovery. That's one thing I personally feel a lot of us have to do is rebuild our lives, because the ones we were living before wasn't so great. We're causing chaos, we're causing harm, our attitudes suck, our coping skills is not too good. So it's like rebuilding that life and not rebuilding, starting a new life. You know what I mean? So we have to get a structure based. That's what I need. I need a lot of structure. In the beginning, right? I couldn't hold money of mine, because I wasn't trustworthy of holding my own money. Even having a key to place I was living at, stuff like that, I had to do and I had to work towards, because I had to rebuild and restore my life and rebuild and restore my relationships, restoring trust, trust is a big one. If I can't trust myself, how am I going to trust others? So it's it all goes hand in hand of working with yourself, loving yourself, accepting yourself, trusting yourself. Then when you start to do more of that, then you can start to do that with others. Let's see here. Rebuilding your network and resources. This is very important. A common tendency with those in addiction it is to self-isolate. This destructive pattern can overflow into the recovery process too and be expressed as trying to do everything on your own. But there are many resources available to help. For health insurance issues, talk with the Medicaid office to see if you're qualified. Connect with recovery groups in your area. Some examples include Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, Narcotics Anonymous, NA, and in the rooms, ITR for online resources. Check out the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administrative Hampshire. Yeah, there's a lot of resources out there that when I came in Capital Recovery Center and started working here, like I knew some of resources, but we have a lot of resources for people that need help. So many that, for the drug and alcohol addiction, for the mental health, food assistance, homelessness, there's a lot of resources that we do provide here at Capital Recovery Center. For more long-term and impressive help, it may be worthwhile to investigate the sober living homes in your area, such as facilities are often associated with a larger organization, but many of them still have independent owners and may allow residents for a year or sometimes more. In the early stages of recovery, many people don't have access to a safe place to go. Yeah, if they do, their living space may not provide a healthy environment to support sobriety. So sober living homes facilitate an environment based on recovery and shared values. Other benefits of sober living homes include builds a sense of individual responsibility, cultivates independence in a safe environment, can be flexible with work and school commitments, set a goal for reintegration into society. Even if a sober living house isn't for you, this is just an example of making sure that you have a solid network of people and resources that can support you on your journey. Yeah, when we get clean and sober, and we do the treatment part, the detox, the inpatient, we do some outpatient, right? And so we need a stable place to live. That's a hard one also when you get clean, is having a stable place to live. Because a lot of us, we burn bridges. We don't have a place to go. So I think it's very important if you can go to a sober living, because a lot of sober living houses have like house managers, house presidents, and stuff like that. So, see, when I came into recovery, I didn't have what do you want to call it? We call real coping skills. I wasn't. We talked about being trustworthy, right? I wasn't accountable. I wasn't reliable. This is what what treatment and going to sober living and stuff like that can help you with. Is like you wake up, certain times you do your meetings, you make your bed, stuff like that. With the little things can set you up later in life. Being a productive member of society, going to work on time, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that we have to, and that's what this article is about, is rebuilding you. Basically, you have to rebuild yourself. So we don't want to go back to using drugs and alcohol. I sure don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's go to rebuilding. Let me see here. Rebuilding relationships in recovery. Addiction impacts everyone in a person's life. Not only does it disrupt day-to-day life and its routines, it can cause long-term destructive effects. One of the causes of this destruction is the erratic behavior of addicts that often leads to fear and mistrust in their relationships. Many times, addiction leads to lying and manipulation of others in order to get what they need to support their habit. Despite these damaging behaviors, some close relationships may inadvertently promote addiction when trying to calm the situation. Other loved ones might fight back and assume a tough love stance. In either case, family stress and turmoil increases. These dynamics will likely remain even after a period of residential treatment, because of this, one's relationship will need to undergo just as much attention and care as a person suffering from addiction. Family therapy, couples therapy, and daily trust building are just a few of the ways one can begin to restore the relationships that are damaged in the wake of addiction. Yeah, from my personal experience, like it took time for that trust to be rebuilt with my mom, my family, my friends, because I lied. Talks about I lied, manipulate. I did what I needed to do to get what I wanted. So that like I can tell them that I'm doing good or I'm going to do good, but like I never followed up. Like I always went to treatment and I did okay, got cleaned up, and I shot out to the streets and did what I wanted to do again, over and over again. So sometimes you have to, it talks about express that tough love. Because if I keep on letting you do what you wanted to do, I'm just participating in your destruction. You know what I mean? That's hard for a family member when, you love and care about somebody and they're using and causing chaos and causing drama. It's like, hey, I love you. If you want help, I'm here to help you. But other than that, I can't participate in this no more. You know what I mean? So it took time. It took rebuilding trust, rebuilding healthy relationship. And that's all by action. You say I'm sorry, that stopped long ago. I said sorry. You said sorry a lot too. I can say sorry all I want, but like if I don't follow up with action, it just doesn't mean anything. I'm repeating the same mistake, and yeah, so it's like they're gonna listen to you maybe, but they're not like right. You know what I mean? So I'd rather you know put things into action, and that's how I rebuilt my trust, rebuilt my relationships, and some relationships can be amended. Because everybody's not say we're in recovery and working on ourselves and stuff like that, and we're working on treatment, and we're working maybe it says counseling and therapy and family therapy and counseling stuff like that, but the person that you caused harm to might be not where you're at. You know what I mean? So they have to go through their process as well, and you have to be understanding, loving, and caring. It's like, yeah, I'm not that person no more, but you cause so much, I cause so much damage, and PT. Sometimes you cause people PTSD. Like I cause a lot of damage. It takes time for people to heal, but sometimes some relationships can't be amended. But hopefully, you just have faith, and hopefully one day that relationship can get met in some type of way, shape, or form. We'll go to rebuilding realistic expectations. In line with the rebuilding family relationships, it's important to put each of these processes in a realistic framework. With realistic expectations, individuals fresh out of the treatment may feel excited and focused on the future. They themselves may feel ready to return to relationships and wipe the slate clean. But family members and loved ones may need more time to rebuild trust and work through their anger or past experience. We're just talking about that. The people that we've harmed need to go through their process of healing and dealing. We might want, we're working on ourselves, but this individual needs still time, and we want to get impatient. Like, come on, oh well, I'm doing good, this and that. No, I've caused this, so we have to be understanding. The repetition of lying and manipulating behavior from the past, although it may indeed be in the past, forms a certain set of expectations and creates lasting impersonations. Even though you may be ready to start fresh, your loved one may still be feeling the effects of manipulation, cheating, or whatever it took to feed the addiction. Only small steps in showing your family each day that you focus on healthy living will begin to turn the tide. It says showing your family each day, not showing your family once or showing, you know what I mean? Showing your family each day. Part on Part of navigating a realistic recovery process is understanding that rebuilding relationships takes time. So it's key to celebrate small victories. Yeah, it takes time, just like with the recovery process. It takes time to rebuild what you've burnt down. But the same goes with the relationship part. It takes time. You can't put expectations on it saying like, well, I'm clean and sober now, and I'm doing good, so you should forgive me, or and this is might be valid. Like that's not me. I was under influence. I was using. That's not me in recovery. Valid, right? Facts. But still, that person is not where you're at in their journey. It's like, no, I caused this. I have to understand and respect what my family member or my friend or society, views of me or thinks about me. It just takes time. Like it's funny from like night and day of what addiction can do to you and where recovery can take you. It's like, me getting arrested for so many years, a lot of times to like not having to worry about the cops. Like I don't care about seeing cops today. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like it's just night and day, because like recovery overpowers addiction in any day when you're willing to work on it. It's a beautiful thing when you can wake up and like the freedom that you experience of not have to chase and like I want this, I need this. If I don't have it, I'm causing harm and pain to everybody around me. It's a disease of addiction can kill you. It's sad. Let's see here. The last one is rebuilding trust with others and yourself. A large factor in learning to trust yourself and others is to practice healthy communication skills. Communication depends on the participation of both people. This includes active listening and honest sharing of thoughts and feelings. Without this, the rebuilding process will have weak foundation and will certainly not last. Being honest about the recovery process will also help your loved ones come alongside you in your healing. Although it may be difficult to be vulnerable and to share the hard things you experience, the practice of sharing the burden will help you learn to trust those around you in a healthy way. Um, I just want to touch on before we get out of here is like I'm in the fellowship, right, and I have a sponsor. So I like I get with him and deal with the stuff I've done, right? The grimy, no good stuff that I've done, and that stuff's got to come up. That stuff, wherever you might struggle with it, it looks a little different for everybody, but you have something in you that needs to be let out, right? Something that we used to use drugs and alcohol over. We're getting to the root of it, and that's why I do like step work and stuff with him so I can get that stuff out so I can be a better person for my relationships with my family, my friends, and stuff like that. I have to be honest. I don't have to be like the stuff I've done in recovery. I don't have to express that with family and friends. I get on shame, but I do express that with him so I can move on from it. So there's a lot of things that we have to deal with. And, we can deal with professional help, counseling, therapy, family counseling, family therapy. Uh, sometimes medication needs to be addressed because our mental health is not too good. So there's a lot of pathways where we can rebuild and restore your life and recovery. So is there anything that you're trying to do to rebuild on your life that's like specific?
Just staying sober and clean.
Yeah. People, the other thing, people, places, and things. That's part of rebuilding your life. That's a hard one for a lot of us.
It's not really people, just because I mean, like like a lot of friends that I used to have, like everybody just doing their thing,
Mhm.
or I'm not dealing with some people either. So it's just, I mean, I basically only got like one or two friends, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I had a lot of people that were using. Like that's all people I hung out with was so-called friends or associates I was using with. What I mean? So, and I knew everybody. People still know me to this day. It's like 'cause I was all over. You know what I mean? And to break that, it was easy but hard also because wherever I go, I still see people to this day. But like I don't have that urge or that desire to use. You know what I mean? That's not. it would be a little bit of a different story if I still had these urges and these feelings and these thoughts being around people, places, and things. That can really, set in to be a problem, But since recovery, man, and what I've done in recovery is, rebuilding and rebuilding new friends, new relationships, new, you know, everything new. But that was our end of our meeting. This is our men in training meeting. And the article I have is Rebuilding, Restoring Your Life in Addiction and Recovery. And if you want this article, it is by 7hoursrecoveryarizona.com. I want to thank Giovanni for showing up. Appreciate it, man. Until next time, we'll see you later.
How you doing, man?
Good, man.